Do you ever find yourself playing a support player and not knowing what to do? You find yourself as a Thermite player getting spawn peeked and, well, there goes the hard breach. Or the level 205 Jaeger main takes out that Thatcher within 5 seconds into the round from a spawn peek that no one has ever seen before. Yeah, sounds relatable, right? Well, I've been there, and that's why today I'm going to give you one common mistake for every single support player or operator in Rainbow Six Siege. If you would like to feature in a massive upload that will be coming to the channel in the near future, if you'd like to feature in that and be the main star in it, all you need to do is go over to the Discord, join it. There is a link in the description down below if you're not already in there, and you will be able to get access to it, and if you do fit the requirements for the video, you might just feature in it. If the video does help you out, be sure to drop a like on it. First off, we're going to be starting off with Habana. Often players with Habana, especially with this new rework, aren't taking advantage of this rework compared to what they could be doing. Hibana has a lot of customization options for her pellets right now, and this means that she is going to be able to customize them in different formats. I don't see people taking enough use out of them, such as the 2 pellet one. This needs to be used a lot more. This is fantastic for a little bullet hole peek when you've already got the main breach open if you're looking onto a new angle. While it is great that she can save more pellets on hatches and other areas, you need to also be taking use of these customization features, not just for the efficiency, but the fact that you can open up new angles that are a lot easier to see through, or maybe cover you more that you couldn't do before. If you aren't taking advantage of the customization features for this rework enough, you need to start doing it. There are many situations where you can put it to use. Next up, we're going to have Thatcher. Apart from making sure that you don't get spawn peeked straight off the spawn, well, there is a big tip here and a big mistake that players are often making, and that's not taking advantage of the vertical capabilities that Thatcher does have to throw the bandit player off. People still don't take enough use out of this little trick where you can throw your Thatcher EMP, for example, on Clubhouse onto that top roof, and it will actually hit the bandit charges and take them out. But not only that, it doesn't show the bandit player the blue light, which some players will often use for a sound cue or a little bit of a visual cue as well. While you can use other cues as a bandit player to actually go ahead and bandit trick, it can definitely throw them off and it will work. It's a lot better than throwing it straight at the wall because there isn't much difference. Why not give yourself that little advantage? There are tons of other spots where you can do this too, whether you're looking for a reinforcement, whether you're looking to take out a gadget or an ability, use it and put it to your advantage. For you Thatcher mains, it is definitely a little bit of a massive trick that you can in fact use to help you out. If there are any tricks that you use as support players, if you've used them in the past and I didn't mention them, be sure to drop them down below in the comments. It is definitely going to allow you to catch off those inexperienced bandit players who are trying to bandit trick, or simply the ones who have been doing it for a long time and know how to do it, will get confused by this little trick here because it definitely will play into your favor. Like I did mention before, you might as well put it into your game and into your book because it isn't really going to harm you. Next up is in fact going to be Thermite, who is a fantastic hard breacher as a support player, and often players look for him as the main support player. A big thing I see a lot of Thermite players not taking advantage of is Thermite tricking. If you don't know what Thermite tricking, you need to know about it as a Thermite player, because it's going to allow you to get rid of that bandit tricker very easily. A lot of you, when facing a bandit player who knows what they're doing with their bandit tricking, often won't look to the Thermite tricking because you simply either don't know about it or it just isn't in your game quite yet. Now, I would highly recommend getting it into your game because it's going to be a very useful trick to actually get through even when there is a bandit tricker. Often you'll waste your breach charges by simply placing them down and hoping for the best, but when against an experienced bandit player who's bandit tricking, that often isn't going to work. Thermite tricking is where you fake out the bandit player by making him think that you are going to be placing down your breach charge on one wall, but you move to the next. You may move to the other, fake out this one, fake out the next, and then place it down. Or you might continue to fake it out and so on and so forth, but essentially what you're doing is making him think that you're placing it down there, switching to a new location, which is going to allow you to get a little bit of a time advantage on him and place it down and breach. What this will do is create a lot of noise and confusion for the bandit player. At first you might get them because they think that you are definitely going to be placing it down, and then you move it over, which is probably your best opportunity. If you continue to do it, they often begin to get aware and realize that this might be not the one where they're placing it down. It makes their life 10 times harder. Next up is going to be for Montagne, and there are 2 massive mistakes players make here. is first of all, not pinging enough. If you are not pinging as a Monty player, it is simply not a valuable push. There is a lot of intel that you can gain, and with the yellow ping, it is going to be extremely useful for you to ping their location. Even if you are going to be communicating and talking to your teammates, continue to do that, but also make sure that you're going to be pinging too. You don't want your pings to be too delayed, as the information will be old, because intel can change very, very quickly. However, you do want to be pinging so that you can maximize the intel that you're giving your team, and overall it's going to allow them to take out that player a lot easier. The second mistake for Monty, a little bonus tip for you here, is that you are not going to be coordinating. You need to communicate or coordinate, whether you are solo queuing, give those callouts, but on top of that, make sure you use that yellow ping. Again, if you can't communicate, if you don't have a mic, make sure that you are going to be pinging. But as I'm sure you know, that communication is going to be very, very valuable for you and your team. If you ask yourself, would you rather have a Monty player who is simply pinging, or one that's doing both? That includes communicating. I think we would all go for the one that is going to be talking and communicating, because that is a rarity. The next support player is going to be Kali, and while a few of you may not see Kali as a support player or some of these operators, these are the ones in my eyes that are definitely going to be the top support operators that I'm going to be looking at. If there are any that you think should be on here that are support players, drop them down below in the comments. There are two big mistakes with Kali. Another bonus one here is that you're not making enough use of the soft destruction, and you're also not playing at your own game. Kali does have a lot of soft destruction potential, which allows her to open up multiple angles for you and your teammates. On top of that, expose the enemy a little bit more, and essentially just create mass destruction on the enemy's site. You can do this at long range with your sniper because it is going to have a massive effect on soft wall. Even if you're not necessarily looking for a player, simply opening up lines of sights, multiple angles, potentially areas where people are going to be holding, that is what you should be going for. Get the most use out of those bullets. It is very, very useful to use all of your bullets in your main sniper rifle as a Kali player, because not only will you pick a few kills with it, hopefully, but you will also pick up a lot of soft destruction. The main goal isn't to pick up the kills with her sniper rifle. Got the SMG to push on later in. Just make sure that you're using it for a lot of support fire. And again, this comes into playing you at your own game. You need to be using them at long range, get the SMG for the short range, play them at your own game. Next up is in fact going to be Capitao, and a massive mistake players make for Capitao is not screening that plant. Your smoke bolts and also your fire bolts are going to be absolutely huge for you. They allow you to screen the plant with your smoke bolts, and that is what you should be doing. If you don't know what that is, that means when you are going to be creating a wall of smoke, essentially like a cloak in front of your planter, you're not directly putting the smoke onto the planter. That essentially says to the enemy, throw a C4 here, you'll kill our guy with the diffuser. Many players continue to make this mistake. Screening that plant is 10 times better. Another little tip, remember to use those fire bolts to block off the rotations. It's a fairly common and basic tip, that one, but again, that is what you need to know. If you would like to learn 100 tips in just 10 minutes of your time, be sure to check out my video on my channel where I've covered 100 tips in only, 10 minutes. I do stream on Twitch on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6:30 PM GMT every single week. There will be a link down below, so be sure to pop over there. If there's any operators that you'd like me to help with, or simply any questions you have, this is a great place to ask. If the video did help you out, be sure to drop a like on it and subscribe for more tips and tricks videos just like this one. I hope you all had an amazing Christmas. Thank you for an incredible year. Let's make the next one even better. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye bye.